All right, everybody, fire up your Facebook feeds. It's time for the 4 to 5. And if you're not a member of our exclusive Facebook group, what are you waiting for? All you have to do is search for 4 to 5 Club, click Join Group, and we are there waiting for you. Good afternoon. I'm Eric Chilton alongside Ben Briscoe and Lauren Coleman.
Hey, everybody.
Exclusive because you get cool content, but we welcome everyone there, and we'd love for you to join. We're so happy you're watching W4 News 2 with us on Fire Stick, Roku, or the W4 News 2 app.
And we're also on Facebook as well. And if you're tuning in from Facebook, tell us about a time you got someone else's mail by mistake, because we got a crazy story about that coming up later on in the show.
For now, we want to get to some new developments on the fight to keep the ACC tournament in town.
Right now, Greensboro and Guilford County leaders are trying their hardest to keep the ACC headquarters in our city.
Today, they released a joint statement reading in part, "We believe we made a strong case for the ACC to remain in our community, one that addresses the conference's needs to accelerate its brand and respond to the changing times in intercollegiate athletics. This includes an offer to rename our arena, which is the largest arena in the ACC conference, the ACC Coliseum." This week, the North Carolina state budget proposal by the Republicans mentioned a $15 million funding to keep the headquarters in Charlotte, but in North Carolina. Earlier today, we spoke with Republican State House Representative John Hardister, who says the outcome of this decision still remains unclear.
There's been a lot of talk about the ACC moving to Charlotte. Don't yet know for sure that's going to happen, but hate to see them leave Greensboro, as a member of the Guilford delegation. But our goal was to keep them in North Carolina because there is a possibility they could go to Florida. We don't want that to happen. If they do move to Charlotte, it's certainly not my preference because I'd rather them stay in Greensboro, but at least they're staying in North Carolina. We'll continue to have a lot of ACC tournaments in the Triad.
A statement from an ACC spokesperson reads in part, "The process surrounding the review and assessment of the conference office location is ongoing. No decision has been made by the ACC Board of Directors."
Now, under the plan in the state budget, several postseason championship tournaments will be held in our state over the next 10 years. Well, much more on this developing story coming up at 5 o'clock.
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson,
do solemnly swear.
A historic moment for the United States Supreme Court and the country. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is now the first black woman to be sworn in on the court.
Brown is our nation's 116th justice, replacing retiring Justice Stephen Breyer. She brings nearly a decade of experience to a court that's deeply divided on a number of hot-button issues right now.
I, Ketanji Brown Jackson, do solemnly swear.
It's a ceremony that makes history, as Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson becomes the nation's first black woman to sit on the nation's highest court.
So help me God.
Her official swearing in comes as Justice Stephen Breyer retires following the current term's close, nearly 3 months since her Senate confirmation.
In my family, it took just one generation to go from segregation to the Supreme Court of the United States.
While Justice Jackson will not change the ideological makeup of the 6'3" conservative-leaning court, Dean of Howard University School of Law, Danielle Holly Walker, says she will have a significant impact with her background and experience as a woman of color, a mother, and former federal public defender.
I think Justice Jackson will be similar to other justices who have been labeled as kind of the conscience of the Supreme Court. And when I say the conscience of the court, I mean someone who really talks about the everyday person.
Justice Jackson steps into the role after a highly contentious term that's divided justices on issues like abortion, climate change, and religion.
This term has been probably one of the most heavily controversial, politicized terms ever in the history of the court, and we can expect more of that to come.
I am pleased to welcome Justice Jackson to the court and to our common calling.
In its next term, the court is expected to decide on more contentious issues, including voting rights, LGBTQ rights, and affirmative action.
Justice Jackson is a Harvard graduate and has served on its Board of Overseers. During her confirmation hearing, she said she would recuse herself from the affirmative action case involving Harvard, though she could rule on a challenge involving the University of North Carolina.
Since the Supreme Court ruled to overturn Roe v. Wade, we've gotten a lot of questions from you. People are really curious. And one big thing we keep getting is about the number of justices. Folks want to know, why do we have 9 justices, and could we possibly add more? We learned the answer is a pretty simple one. Tune in as we dig into all things Supreme Court at 5:45. And hey, if you got a question, it's not too late. You can text them to 336-379-5775. We'll dig into it and get you answers.
Now let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Tomorrow, the wife of a murdered Seagrove firefighter is due in court. Prosecutors charge Heather Hicks Almond with first-degree murder and killing of her husband, MJ Almond. MJ served the Seagrove community for more than 20 years and had strong ties to Randolph County. He leaves behind an 11-year-old son. Today, the State Board of Elections decided not to move forward with the Guilford County bond challenge. Today, they heard an appeal from former County Commissioner Alan Branson. Last month, he filed a complaint alleging commissioners illegally used taxpayer money to promote $1.7 billion school bonds in last month's primary election. The county dismissed it, which prompted today's hearing. State officials said they didn't find probable cause to investigate further. Today, Governor Roy Cooper approved the permanent legalization of hemp in our state. For the last several years, hemp was legal temporarily under a pilot program. Last night, the bill passed through the Senate.
You know, it's one of those forecasts where we say what you see is what you get. We are locked in, kind of stuck in this same pattern for quite a while, it looks like. Temperatures right now, 87 in Greensboro, 89 Reedsville, and even 90 for Walnut Cove, Mount Airy at 85, Winston-Salem 89, high point at 90. Dew point is up there. We're in the mid-60s right now. You can see our chart here. That means it's really humid. It's really bordering on oppressive. Once we get the dew point readings to the 70s, that's when it's like tropical moisture for us. So this heat and humidity stays with us for a while. Tonight, partly cloudy, still humid, that low of 69 degrees. Again, tomorrow, the high at 90 with an isolated storm. You know, it's not likely, but it's possible. It's one of those 30% deals where not a lot of people get that, but we still run the risk. Again, that is for tomorrow. And we see this same situation for days on end, it seems like. Look at the cloud cover streaming in from the southwest back up to the northeast. And it looks like as we push through this thing, I mean, really the isolated shower is the best way to term this, because that's kind of what we're dealing with. If you look around South Carolina, just note that a lot of that will start to push back up to the north from the south because of our wind flow. So that muggy condition, and see the high pressure off the coast, it stays in that same location for quite a while. As we go into our future cast, we're looking at, that's Friday morning at about 9 o'clock, same situation. And again, we lock in with that for several days on end. 7-day forecast as we scoot ahead here and look at the whole thing here. 88 to 90. That's every high temperature for the next 7 days. We're consistent. 30% chance of a shower Friday. It's a 40% for your weekend, including the 4th of July.
Right now, a major discovery tied to the lynching of Emmett Till. It's trending all over social media.
The family of the slain teen is demanding an arrest after an unserved warrant was discovered 66 years later. That warrant charged Carolyn Bryant Dunham in his 1955 kidnapping.
Relatives of Till want authorities to use that old warrant to arrest her now. At the time of Till's death, she was married to one of the 2 white men tried and acquitted by an all-white Southern jury.
Carolyn Bryant Dunham set off the case in August 1955 by accusing the 14-year-old Till of making improper advances at a store in Mississippi.
Right now, she is in her 80s and most recently known to live right here in North Carolina. Several people are wondering what this recent discovery of the old warrant means, so let's dig deeper with the legal experts.
We're joined live by Jason Keith with Keith & Associates. So Jason, the Till family wants law enforcement to serve Miss Carolyn Bryant Dunham with the current warrant. Could this actually happen?
Actually, it actually can happen. The warrant was actually issued in Mississippi. And assuming that the warrant hasn't been dissolved and that it's still active, the warrant actually should and could be served by North Carolina law enforcement officers.
So there's not a statute of limitation on that case then?
Mississippi law governs, but for the most part, generally no. Stale warrants are usually served. They usually stay alive until they're actually served on the individual in the cases.
And what would that process look like? I mean, could North Carolina initiate it since she's here, or would it have to come out of Mississippi?
So what would generally happen is Mississippi would send a warrant to North Carolina. North Carolina would respond by issuing a warrant on behalf of Mississippi upon Ms. Donham, because Mississippi is the actual issuing state that actually wants Ms. Donham to actually report back and potentially be held accountable for crimes.
So a lot of people are talking about this. Is there any notable civil rights case in which someone was brought up on charges that happened 70 plus years ago?
Well, in terms of civil rights, there are, but more specifically, it's not uncommon. I mean, you can think about Holocaust cases, and you can think about other cases where there are older cases, there are older crimes, and new evidence has resurfaced, or the original warrants were never actually served on individuals. So it's not uncommon. Old cases that potentially they never were actually brought to trial for have actually been tried, and warrants have actually been served on individuals in the recent years. So it's pretty common, actually.
So lots of people on social media I've seen have been saying, who do we need to reach out to and lobby to get them to actually do this?
Good question.
But keep applying pressure to the legislature and the people and the officials in Mississippi. North Carolina is not going to actually respond to a warrant or execution of a warrant unless Mississippi asks them to. If the warrant is still alive, it hasn't been dissolved, it's still, if the warrant is still there, they can just ask law enforcement officers in North Carolina to serve it, and they would actually serve Ms. Donham and potentially have her arrested.
Well, lots of interesting perspective, and we're so lucky to have you here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
All right, we'll be right back after this break. Stick with us. Summer fun means COVID spread in a world still dealing with a global pandemic.
Yeah, the CDC reports an uptick in patients hospitalized with COVID. And think about it, it seems like almost everyone knows someone with the recent infection.
Yep, WFNY News 2's Megan Maleris breaks down the latest guidance on how long to isolate to stop the spread.
To test or not to test, to isolate or not to isolate. COVID confusion is spreading misinformation as the COVID pandemic evolves with new variants now. So let's verify, is it true you can leave isolation 5 days after a COVID infection begins? Our sources for this are Dr. Chris Uhl, infectious diseases physician with Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and a Boston University study, all confirming it's true.
If you have symptoms of COVID-19 or asymptomatic for COVID-19 and test positive, your isolation period can be over at the end of 5 days.
But he noted the conditions specified in the CDC's March 2022 guidance. Regardless of vaccine status, if you test positive for COVID, stay home at least 5 days and isolate from others in your home. Wear a mask if you do encounter others at home. End isolation at least 5 days after symptom onset. If you're fever-free, at least 24 hours without medication. If you did not have symptoms, end isolation at least 5 full days after your first positive test.
The caveat is that after that 5 days of isolation, when you're in public in indoor spaces, you should wear a mask because there is a small chance you could still shed virus.
The Boston University study researched 92 vaccinated COVID positive patients with mild breakthrough infections. After day 5 of symptom onset, 17% still tested positive. But by day 10, the probability of COVID contagion was almost zero. Take note, this study accounted for Delta and Omicron, not their new variants like the BA strains.
These variants are somewhat more contagious than the original Omicron variant, but fortunately aren't any more severe.
We verified yes, in most cases you can leave isolation 5 days after COVID symptoms start or 5 days after your first positive test. However, masking through day 10 is crucial when out in public, especially inside, in case you're still contagious. Experts say as long as you follow those 2 rules, you don't have to keep testing until you're negative. The test could be detecting some virus particles that are no longer contagious. However, if your COVID case was severe, meaning you were very sick or you have a weakened immune system, the CDC recommends a longer isolation period of 10 to 20 days. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malera.
Typical summertime forecast for us, and it is not going anywhere anytime soon, that's for sure. Look at this temperature, 87 degrees in the Triad, 90 in Raleigh. That is kind of the range of high temperatures that our area will see for the most part for a solid week. We're locked into that kind of early July, just when things start getting hot and humid out there, and it's just not changing a whole lot. A chance of a late day shower or thunderstorm is possible every single day, although tomorrow probably only a 30%. We bring it up to a 40% for every day after that, and the 7-day forecast stays the same. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try to get the app though. You see this QR code on the bottom of your screen. Go ahead and download and get the app, because when we do have severe thunderstorm warnings, you'll get all that information right in the palm of your hand. Good thing to have this time of the year. Charlotte at 88, the Triad at 87 right now. Temperatures dropping to the upper 60s by tomorrow morning. Your Friday looks good. Great way to kick off a holiday weekend, that's for sure. Partly cloudy skies. Again, an isolated storm. Can't rule it out. Not a huge chance. We'll keep it at a 30% for tomorrow. General cloud pattern here with the winds coming around this high pressure off our coast. It's kind of a south to southwest. They're fairly light, the winds. You can see how it's circulating in this direction and then hitting our mountains and coming back like this. So as we get that clockwise flow around the high, it causes some of those showers to develop and push inland. So it's backwards from what we normally get. And the muggy conditions just stay with us thanks to the high pressure. So heat and humidity for a while, folks. Here's a 7-day outlook. 90 for Friday, Saturday, 88 for Sunday, and 89 for the 4th of July. Look for a 30% chance of a late day pop-up shower or storm on Friday. Then we bump that up to a 40%. Now that's normal for us this time of the year. So partly cloudy during the day, isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening, and then clearing up overnight. Every day, Saturday through Thursday of next week. The highs drop to 88 Sunday, back up to 89 for the 4th, 90 on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday at 88. Most of the overnight lows around 69 to 71 degrees.
Unfortunately, the Carolina Hurricanes did not pull off the big win, but we got close. But there's always next season, right?
Until then, the Colorado Avalanche has the title of professional hockey's newest champs.
Right now, they're carrying the Stanley Cup town to town for fans to see. This might be karma because the celebration started off a little rocky.
Jennifer Meckles shares the accidental detour the trophy encountered thanks to the wrong address.
Early evening, about to watch the local news.
Monday night, one day after the Avs Stanley Cup victory.
So I was the first one who saw the car being parked in our driveway. I saw the car backing up.
Dmitry Rudenko and his husband Kit Karbler were at home in Denver's Hilltop neighborhood.
Well, you said, Kit, there's somebody here for you.
Yeah, just for you because it was not for me.
Their camera system caught the moments that followed.
The person opened the trunk and I saw the case. I recognized it because we watched the final games.
Everybody did.
We saw them bring him up to the ice and like jokingly said, "Is that a Stanley Cup?" And he says, "Yes."
That's when I went running out the door. I went out I said, "Can I see it?" And he opened it up. He said, "Of course." But here's the only picture I got.
Lord Stanley's cup right there in their own driveway.
So he opens up and I did feel the rim right away, and because I saw it was dented, that was all fixed. I picked it up by the neck and just got a feeling for it. Yeah, and I'd say it was...
I'd say a little bigger than that.
Yeah, 3 feet.
3 feet, yes.
Yeah, 3 feet, and it's bigger round than I thought.
Perfectly polished.
The cup keepers told them they were looking for another house in the neighborhood with a similar address number. Avs captain Gabriel Landeskog.
They're only one digit off. Because of that one digit, it was fortuitous for us.
Oops. Well, what's one more stop?
We made sure it arrived safe.
Yeah. And we showed them where they were supposed to go. They were really nice people, and I imagine they had some sense of embarrassment because they got to the wrong address, but they also would know what joy they brought to us.
Kit only got this one picture.
I wasn't thinking of myself there. I was absorbed in the moment.
But what a moment it was to be an accidental part of the Stanley Cup celebration.
It made our day, and it's something that we'll be able to talk about and laugh about for a long time.
Yeah.
Wow, how cool is that?
Those guys deserve like tickets for life for doing the right thing.
For bringing it back. Some people would have kept it, you know. I'm glad they were honest.
Put that thing up on eBay real fast.
Absolutely. I didn't realize how massive and huge that thing is. It's almost as tall as me.
So
it's
we had
about
it on
3 feet.
Good Morning Show one year. They brought the actual cup came and you had to wear gloves if you got a chance to hold it. But they engrave the team and the score and the name of the players. I don't know if you noticed all those little etchings around it. So each of those little panels are etched, and then as they fill up, they take a ring off and put it in the Hall of Fame. So it's cool. All the players get their names.
How heavy is it? Can you actually lift it up?
You can, but it's solid. I don't know what it's made of, but it was really solid.
So have you all ever gotten anything by mistake that did not belong to you? Maybe not on this level, but.
So I have this problem where sometimes I forget that I ordered things on Amazon.
Me too.
Oh, wow.
And a couple of times I've noticed a package on our porch and I'm like, what did I order this time? Like rack my brain, and then you go to look at it and it's someone else's.
Oh, okay.
It happens a lot.
So this literally just happened to me yesterday. I got a package mail. My wife goes, "What is this? It looks sketchy." I'm like, "Yeah, this is weird." Like the return address just said like Bob and something else. I'm like, "What is this?" I opened it up and I'd forgotten I had ordered a vintage postcard from Myrtle Beach on eBay, but it was like a week or two ago, and I was like,
"Oh." Only you would order a vintage postcard from Myrtle Beach.
It was the place that my family used to go all the time, and I couldn't believe I found it in a postcard. So I bought it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All I get is just junk mail that does not belong to me. I've never had anything. I mean, one time I did get some shoes delivered to my address. I knew they weren't mine, so I just sent them to the leasing office and was like, "Oh, these were actually dropped off at my house." So
I like it when I get Eric Chitlin. That's the best.
Eric
spelling.
Chitlin?
Chitlin. I've gotten that, and Eric Clapton and Eric Shelton. Those are the three.
Eric Clapton from now on.
I wish.
E. Chitlin. I'm gonna start calling you that now.
E. Chitlin. I like
We'll be right back with Eric Clapton.
E. Chitlin, making us some chitlin.
E. Chitlin. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton with you today alongside Ben Briscoe and Lauren Coleman.
Hey, everybody. Remember, you can also watch us on WFOY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFOY News 2 app.
And if you're watching us on Facebook right now, we want to know, because we're going to talk about it a little later, what's an odd food combination you enjoy? I don't know how odd mine is, but brie and red pepper jelly together.
That actually sounds delicious.
So I've had that many. I love that.
It's spectacular.
Yeah,
I've got some weird ones we'll talk about.
So do I.
Yes.
But for now, let's talk about this busy travel weekend we're heading into.
Right now, AAA finds 47 million people will travel this holiday weekend. That's just shy of the numbers we saw in 2019 before the pandemic.
Experts say most people are expected to travel by car because of ongoing cancellations and delay issues with airlines.
And the flight frenzy has experts echoing two words: arrive early.
Yes, arrive early. An average of nearly 700 flights a day in the U.S. were canceled over the past weekend as airlines struggle with too many passengers and just not enough workers.
Just like all businesses. They recommend being prepared for packed airports and having a plan in place should your flight get canceled.
Typically, airlines are required to offer refunds if they cancel your flight and you refuse an alternate one, but rules surrounding that can vary.
Also, keep in mind, if your flight does get canned at the start of the trip, you're still on the hook for the hotel and other fees. That's why travel agents say you should get that trip insurance. Delta Airline is taking steps to try and ease some of the troubles ahead of the busy 4th of July weekend. This means people planning to travel on those days can rebook their flights and fly another time with no fees. This type of waiver is normally something they issue during extreme weather events like a hurricane, but they're trying to do it now to try to help you.
The North Carolina Department of Transportation is doing its best to help with the holiday traffic. DOT is suspending all construction lane closures across the state. The lanes will be open through next Tuesday. AAA says if you're hitting the road anytime this weekend, the best time to travel is in the morning. Yeah, leave early.
Not at all. I'm not a fan on traveling on holiday weekends because it's so busy. I like to take another weekend and use this as like staycation time.
Me too, because in the few times that I've done it, and God help you if you hit Atlanta traffic on 95.
Or even 95 in Northern Virginia, where my folks live. I try to leave super early because if you're leaving at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it's going to add on an extra 2 hours to your trip.
At least.
Guaranteed.
We were on 95 one time, and whatever was, I don't know, it was an accident or just congestion. And we took one of those service roads, you know, that run alongside the highway, and they're usually like 2-lane little roads. And we passed like hundreds of cars, and then finally weaseled our way back in, and it was the Waze app, you know, Waze that you use. We were using that, and it told us to get on this service road, and it was just a little 2-lane road that runs on the side of the highway in the middle of nowhere, and it helped us tremendously.
See,
but then
I
you
have tried that and then got lost before on the side road. So my rule is you don't knock it off that highway.
I don't like it when I get on the side roads and there's so many lights and stops. So I'm unhappy either way. I want to just keep driving and not having to stop and slow down.
I don't know why I think Waze does a good job of diverting you.
So I actually, if I am going to travel on a busy holiday weekend, I like to consider the train as an option too.
Okay.
Because you know what? There's no traffic jams there. Like it's going to be on time.
And you can fall asleep. Like I know I've taken train rides from like DC to New York or DC to Philly, and it's just a couple hours and get you a nice book. You know, you're smooth sailing.
I have never understood, there's got to be a reason why the trains in North Carolina don't run from basically Asheville to Wilmington, because if I could go to the beach on a train,
oh my goodness,
can you imagine?
It's something that President Biden wanted to change in one of the early versions of an infrastructure bill that got shot down. So they're talking about it. They're trying to figure it out.
Because I know you can take, like I've taken it to Panthers games before. Amtrak does a deal from here where you can
you don't have to worry about parking and all that. Yeah.
And you get out at the train station, you're about a $5 Uber or cab ride to the stadium. It's perfect.
Yeah, I still say leave early if you're planning to travel.
So true.
Wherever you go, I hope you have a great trip.
Yes.
Right now, we need to get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Tomorrow, people in Greensboro who leave their trash cans out too long could face a fine. The city says it'll be fining people $25 for leaving trash or recycling bins at the curb longer than they should. It's part of the 777 rule. That means you want to take your trash out after 7 o'clock the night before, make sure it's out there by 7 a.m., and bring it back to your house by 7 p.m. The city says this isn't a new concept, just a new way of monitoring it. Again, the rule goes into effect tomorrow. You will get a warning first, then fines could follow. In just a few days, GCS parents can start submitting those free or reduced lunch waivers for the next school year. The application period starts this Friday, July 1st. Keep in mind, there is no deadline to apply, but if you want the meals to start by the beginning of the school year, you will need to apply at least 2 weeks in advance. Guilford County Schools says its application will be online, but they will also have a paper option. Again, that application opens on Friday. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools says their application won't be open until August 1st. Families who use WIC could only buy products in stores for so long, but some states are now considering the possibility of allowing purchases online. People say it would really help them with the baby formula shortage. Last year, the USDA recommended Congress authorize $75 million to help states create an online WIC shopping by October 2025. Right now, 7 states are preparing to unroll online WIC features. North Carolina is not one of them.
When it comes to parenthood, LGBTQ+ individuals can face challenges prior to and after birth or adoption. Novant Health is now providing specialized breastfeeding, chest feeding classes for LGBTQ+ families that address specific challenges this community faces. Shelly Carlson is an international board-certified lactation consultant with Novant Health. She says though the hospital offers several breastfeeding courses, majority of the resources and support have been heteronormative.
We say mom and dad a lot. We learn more and know that that doesn't fit all of our families. So we have transgender families, we have same-sex families, we have families who have had hormone treatments or chest surgeries, and we need to be able to have our research together to help those families learn how to chest feed if they choose to.
Novant held its first free online LGBTQ+ breast chest feeding course in March. Carlson says families work closely with board-certified lactation consultants and discuss the benefits of breast milk, attachment and positioning, and alternative feeding methods. By using proper pronouns and inclusive terms such as chest feeding, Carlson says LGBTQ individuals receive personalized care rather than generalized breastfeeding education.
Over the last couple of years, working closely with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion and getting to know our patients a little bit better, our patient base a little bit better, we've realized that there is a need for this. And it's not just educating our department, but it's also educating our families who are taking part in having families.
This free educational resource is available for all community members. You don't have to be a Novant Health patient to enroll. The next online course is July 26th. For details on how to sign up, just look for the story on WFNYnews2.com.
And we've got some cloud cover now starting to move across the area. You can kind of see it going from southwest back up to the northeast. Almost looks backwards, doesn't it? Like our radar is running in reverse. Not the case. All is well. We see a couple of sprinkles in the mountain communities, and that's really north of our state line there into Virginia, and especially southwest Virginia. So Galac's getting a little sprinkle or two possibly. To the south, a lot of South Carolina showers are developing to the east and pushing back inland. And that'll be the case. We'll see some of that happen for us tomorrow as well. But the muggy conditions continue courtesy of the high pressure off the coast. That is really just a mess for the next several days. Heat and humidity stays firmly in control. 7-day forecast, we are nothing but consistent, that's for sure. All the highs between 88 and 90 for the next 7 days solid. Rain chances are all late day pop-up isolated showers, but a 30% chance for tomorrow. Then we lock in at that 40% for Saturday, Sunday, for the 4th of July, even into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. By the way, all those not a washout, just scattered isolated late day showers or storms. Overnight lows pretty consistent as well, upper 60s in the short term, and then low 70s from Sunday morning all the way through the end of next week.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Every holiday has foods associated with it. It's the tradition part of the holiday, right? The food and the drink. So let's take a quick quiz here. The traditional food that goes with Thanksgiving.
Turkey and ham.
Clearly.
Okay. Easter.
Egg salad, ham.
Well,
yes.
I mean, all
Fried
the things,
chicken.
sure. Okay. Christmas.
That's the same as Thanksgiving.
Same for me.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like
Maybe
even,
a goose.
I mean,
Maybe a goose.
I'm
if
even
you're
thinking
fancy.
like Christmas cookies, right?
Oh,
That
okay,
hot
chocolate.
Any kind of foods and whatever.
Christmas
Okay.
canes.
Last but not least, the foods associated with the 4th of July.
Barbecue.
My favorite,
dogs.
baked beans.
Barbecue.
Hot dogs, hamburgers.
hamburgers.
Okay.
Potato salad, pasta salad, baked
Yeah.
beans,
Yep.
burgers,
Man, you got
hot
it all.
dogs.
Okay,
I'm
all
already
those
getting
things. When you
hungry.
first said barbecue, I thought to myself, like old school barbecue, or you
Not
just
like
meant like
Lexington
on the
barbecue,
grill?
Like, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
grill.
grill
yeah.
barbecue.
On the
Okay.
Barbie.
All right, on the Barbie. Yes. Okay. I like the cookouts. They seem more laid back.
Yes.
But I don't know that they're any much cheaper than any of the other
Not
get-togethers.
Yeah, that's
Probably
sure.
not if you're cooking like ribs and different. I guess it depends on what you're cooking.
Yeah,
Can
see, now
make it
that's a good
expensive.
July 4th
Yeah.
boy,
holiday
that
right
is-
there with
Yeah.
ribs. Okay.
So
All
when
right.
you have
So
it.
let's take a look. Who wants to know
Come
is
on
diving into the numbers of the cookout.
According to the American Farm Bureau Federation Market Survey, Americans will be spending on average around $70 for a 10-person cookout. That's up 17% compared to last year. But really, it's not a surprise, right?
The price of fuel, that's a big deal for farmers' businesses. We also have seen tripling in the price of fertilizer, the cost of labor, the cost of land.
2 pounds of ground beef up by 36%, chicken breast up 33%, fresh squeezed lemonade soared 22%.
I watch the prices, and if it's too much, it's not going to be on the 4th of July menu.
Wait.
Oh, sorry. We were talking about Okay, so I also think over the last couple of years, people bring their own stuff when you have like a
That would be the
cookout or
polite
whatever.
thing to do, yeah.
Okay, well, I wasn't sure though how much COVID had to do with it. Like, I'm gonna bring my own stuff.
If you're
that
gathering,
I
you don't
did
care about
by
COVID
myself.
at this point.
That's true. If you have a big gathering, you're probably not
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
concerned. Maybe.
So we were talking about putting things on the grill. Now there's a couple of things that like we just interviewed a restaurant chef and he said that you shouldn't boil your ribs and then stick it on the grill or anything else like that, that you should put it on the grill first, get all those good grill marks and then stick it in the oven to finish it off.
That sounds good.
Now, I've had a chef, an actual chef, tell me the same thing, that to do it right, it's really high heat for a short amount of time for steaks, and then you bake them in the oven for a short amount of
And
time.
that is so good.
So
Especially to put a whole bunch of butter when you bake it on top.
Please.
Sounds great. Who likes to put ranch on top of their steak?
I like to put ranch on everything.
No, steak.
Everything.
If your steak is good, you don't need anything on it.
That's what my dad
Yeah.
says.
Okay, they're telling us to wrap on this ranch
You don't need it,
conversation.
but
That's
it's
all I'm
still
going to
good.
say.
That's
Happy
good.
4th feast to you.
So who's making the ribs? As we head into the 4th of July weekend, folks are preparing to cook out and celebrate with friends and family. And as you know, we love talking about food here on the 4 to 5. So I asked you on my Facebook page, what is a food combination you enjoy that most people would say is odd? Got a lot of responses here that are absolutely weird. But anyway, Nolan Hyman says barbecue sauce on scrambled eggs. Don't
good.
knock it till you've tried it. Laura Llewellyn says, my aunt eats bananas with sliced cheese wrapped around it. Kelly Williams wrote Cheez-Its and hamburger dill pickles. Judy Bates wrote peanut butter, mayonnaise, and lettuce sandwiches. Not feeling that one, sorry. April says tuna and raisins. Tracy Elizabeth says cream cheese inside my hot dog bun.
That sounds good.
Interesting. And then Morgan Nelm said ketchup and white rice.
I mean, ketchup and anything can be good.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I don't know if I want that on my rice. Some of my cousins, they used to put ketchup in their grits for breakfast.
I've seen people do
and
that.
ketchup on their eggs.
I do ketchup on my eggs.
Yeah.
Really?
And hot sauce.
Something about the sweetness of it. It's good.
When I was a kid, my mother made this for me, and I've never really had it since. But it's banana and mayonnaise sandwiches.
I've had that.
Have
That's
you?
really good.
I saw that on.
It's good.
A lot of people kept saying banana and mayonnaise or peanut butter and mayonnaise.
Yep.
I don't know.
mayonnaise-
I like
I
mayonnaise,
put-
but with the sweet stuff,
The
that
banana,
sounds
you'd be
weird.
surprised.
I put peanut
Okay.
butter and mayonnaise on hamburgers, and it's really
What?
good.
Really? I've never
yeah.
heard that.
Where did you get the idea to do
Hops.
this?
Hops
Okay.
Burger Bar.
Oh,
They
really?
used to
Okay.
have a burger that was like that, and I went through their menu. I was like, which
A
of these
peanut
am I
butter
going
and
to try
jelly
at
burger.
home?
Yeah, you can do it at home.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So my weird, it's funny, as we were talking about this, all my weird stuff involves olives because I love olives. So I take green olives, and if it's like a ham, lettuce, tomato sandwich or something, I cut green olives in half and I put them in there and squish it all in and eat that. And then I do crackers, cream cheese, and a half an olive, like an hors d'oeuvre, and just eat those. I love that.
That sounds pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have anything super outrageous. I know yesterday I was telling you guys I like to put honey mustard on my pizza crust, but also honey mustard, like I like to dip grilled cheese sandwiches in honey
That
mustard.
sounds good.
So that's pretty cool.
That makes sense to me. I do think, though, that we might need to try some of these weird combinations live on TV.
Oh my gosh, that'd be fun.
Like maybe tomorrow we could do this Cheez-Its and dill hamburger pickles.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds
I
good.
can actually see that
Bananas
working.
with cheese slices wrapped around.
I'm gonna have to. I would try it. It sounds.
I'm
I
up
just
to
wanna
try
know.
anything, but I'm like, my thing is, what makes someone think, I'm gonna take this cheese and I'm gonna wrap it around
Yes.
this banana today? Like, where did the thoughts come from?
Where did the thought come to put peanut butter and jelly together? You never know until you
That
try
is
things.
It's true, you gotta try
Okay, so
things.
tonight I'm gonna do gravy with jelly
No.
On what?
On a piece of toast.
on a piece of salmon.
It'd be good on a biscuit.
On a piece of salmon. I mean, you guys said.
Coming up the worst combination known to man. All right, before I get sick, let's talk about our forecast. See what's going on with that.
The humidity makes me sick.
That's right. Yes. Ben is correct. He said the humidity makes him sick. Yes, I agree with that. We're looking at temperatures for the most part right now. This is exactly where we're supposed to be, really. I mean, we talk about how it's the same old, and it is, but upper 80s, but that is normal for us this time of the year. Humidity, it's all, July in North Carolina tomorrow, so that's exactly what we expect. So look for temperatures similar to what we're seeing now every day in our 7-day forecast, literally every day. So lows tonight, 69 degrees, that'll be tomorrow morning, partly cloudy during the day, mid-80s by midday with an afternoon high of 90 and a 30% chance of a late day shower tomorrow. We'll bring that up a smidge, but all that's normal for this time of the year. That's a 40% for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah, we're pretty much consistent. Highs will hover between 88 and 90. Now, all that, the rain, when you see a 40%, don't let that fool you into thinking that we're going to see washout or heavy showers for long periods of time. That is not the case. We're looking at the late day pop-up showers after seeing partly cloudy skies during the day. It's just we're locked into the pattern with the high pressure off the coast. So overnight lows are pretty mild as well. We'll go with the upper 60s. That'll be for tonight and tomorrow night, so technically Saturday morning, and then we'll stay around 70 degrees. By the way, if you look at the averages in the top right corner of your screen there, we're pretty much where we're supposed to be. The average low for this part of the world in the morning is 68, and the average high is 88. And just in case you're a trivia buff with this is the hottest average high temperature that we see in the triad. Of course, we can be hotter or cooler every day, but that is the average for us. So statistically speaking, we should start seeing those numbers drop off in the next couple of weeks, and we'll start trending our high temperatures down.
Christina Davis with assault with a deadly weapon inflicting serious injury.
Hey there, mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Good enough. Hey, where am I starting the show? I'm sorry, I didn't look. Thank you, man.
Lauren Coleman, WFMY News 2.
Sorry, 10, 9, 8, 7.
I've got a heavy topic to discuss today. I got a call from my sister a couple days ago. She told me one of our friends had passed away. His name is Shadow, and we grew up playing hockey together. We lost touch over the years, but he'd recently moved back to my hometown in Wisconsin, and I was lucky enough to see him when I'd go home. My sister told me she saw him just 2 days before he passed. She told him the Silver kids would be coming home later this week for the 4th, and he said he was looking forward to seeing us. Shadow died of a heart attack. He was just 38 years old. The news shook me, both because I had lost a friend, but also because I thought we were immune to that kind of stuff at our age. Am I really getting to the age where my friends are dying of heart attacks? Then I got to thinking, if I were to die tomorrow, would I have accomplished and done all the things I've wanted to do? Like most people, my answer was no. The next natural question in this internal conversation, what should I be doing to accomplish that? Well, that's a more difficult answer. Should I be traveling more or seeing more? Should I reconnect with old friends? Should I try to mend strained relationships? It's kind of a loaded question and one I don't think I can answer. So I guess I'm going to do my best to live every day like it's my last, because one day it will be, and there's no telling whether I'll get a heads up. That's just my 2 cents. And you're 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Could the name of the Greensboro Coliseum complex be changed, all to keep the ACC headquarters in our city?
That is one of the options on the table after a proposed state budget earmarks money for the conference if the ACC stays right here in North Carolina. WFMY News 2's Sydney Moore takes